3 out of 5 reps. We have 2 more in this set. 1, 2. Sweet. Let's see, I'm feeling adventurous. I think for my next set, I'm going to do a bigger amount. I'm going to go up to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what, actually I don't feel like going up to 20. I'm going to change it. Yeah, I'm going to reset it down to 10. Good thing it doesn't reset down to 5. 8. How many are we at now? We are at 8. 2 more. 9. And 1 more. 10. Success. Okay, the code for this project. So before the setup function, we have a bunch of different values. Some that store, push state stores the current state of the push button. Tilt state stores the state of the tilt sensor. Previous tilt state is used to compare the current tilt state to the old one, which we will later use. Rep range is a parameter that will determine how many reps needs to be done in the current set according to the screen. Current rep, keep tracks of which rep we are on, and this will be explained later. It's a Boolean variable, second button. So in the setup function, all we do is we declare the input pin modes for the push button and the tilt sensor, and we get a base value for the tilt sensor through the digital read. We're going to play a simple tone, 3 tones that build a chord, and then we're going to display a message that says press the button to begin. Now we go into the loop function. So the loop function begins by reading the state of the push button and the state of the tilt sensor. The first thing it checks is if the current reps, the current number of reps that we have done, if it's equal to, or if by some accident it exceeds the actual rep range. When this happens, the set is over basically. So it will play 3 notes, and then it will print the message success. It will reset the current rep back to 0 so we can start on the next set, and it'll put a delay in. Now, if this isn't the case, and instead we read that the push button, if the push button is currently pressed down, what we will do is 2 things. If the second button, Boolean variable, is not true, which means if it's the first time that we press the button since the last time we tilted the thing, if this is the first time we press the button since we tilted it, what it will do is it will wait until the release of that button, and that is a function down here that I wrote. Void wait until release. It basically uses a do while loop to keep the loop going until the push button is released. So we'll wait until release, and then it will just display how many reps we are at. This method, display reps down here, all it does is it prints how many reps out of how many total reps we have done. So we'll do that, and then it will say that the second button Boolean variable is now true. So the next time we press the button, it will be second button. So in the case of the push button was being pressed down and the second button variable is true, so this isn't the first time we press the button since the tilt sensor, it will first go to the cycle reps function that we wrote down here, which will either add 5 reps, so it will cycle between 5, 10, 15, and 20 reps, and this part right here will make sure that the total reps will always be 1 multiple of 5 higher than the current rep. So if the current rep is 7, it won't cycle back down to 5, it'll cycle up to 10. If it's 15, it won't cycle to 15 and finish, it will cycle up to 20. And this will just if you take a look at this code, it will just keep on repeating between 5, 10, 15, and 20 as appropriate. It will cycle the reps. It's going to wait until the button is released, and then it's going to display the new amount of reps. And then the second button is still true. So every time you press the button down after the first time you press it down, it will cycle the reps. Now, if the button isn't being pressed down and instead we take in the input of the tilt state, so the current tilt sensor is in a different state than last we checked it, then what will happen is we'll clear the screen, it'll delay 1.5 seconds, so now your leg is raised or whatever, and it's going to play a note to tell you to put it down. And it will increase the current rep number by 1. And then all this here, wait until lowered, is a function that we wrote here that waits until you switch the state of the tilt sensor again so that it's down. And so this entire block of code basically says if the leg was tilted, it's going to beep after 1.5 seconds, and then it'll let you put it down, and then it'll add 1 to the rep range, and then repeat from the beginning again, delay 100 seconds. And then so that comes to the end of the code, and then these are the functions that we wrote on top of it that were already previously explained. Yeah.